Hello, Woodmen Hills. My name is Troy Stinson, and it's my honor to serve as the president of your Woodmen Hills Metropolitan District Board of Directors. I wanted to talk to you today about the state of the district, which is strong, and about what my colleagues and I have accomplished since taking office in 2018. Despite this strange time in world history, the work of Woodmen Hills Metro District goes on, and I have a lot to report. I want to lead off with an especially hot topic: the proposed expansion of Recreation Center East, which the district has been exploring for years now. Although the board hasn't decided yet whether to commit to the expansion, I personally support it. And I expect the board will make a decision on it soon. Let me tell you what that expansion means and how we plan to pay for it. The previous board, elected in 2014 and 2016, conducted a professional study that used a MailChimp survey to gauge residents' thoughts regarding what improvements we'd like to see at RCE. When the current board took office in 2018, we wanted to refresh those results, and we did, for free, by utilizing existing staff to prepare and distribute a new MailChimp survey. This second survey ended up collecting many more responses than the original, and the results indicate that residents want a couple specific improvements to RCE, namely the addition of a cardio room and a gymnasium. Recreation Center East hasn't been improved since it was first built in the 1990s, and I personally think we residents deserve better. Of course, this expansion isn't free, but the district would be able to afford it without taking on any additional debt. That's because every year, any overage in the district's budget, any revenues we collect but don't spend, go into a restricted fund dedicated to capital improvement projects. That's standard operating procedure for districts like ours. Funds that we can spend however we want don't exist. But we do have a little money that we can spend on lasting infrastructure that will improve all residents' quality of life. And perhaps it'll improve our home values too. Now, don't think the district in past years kept rates artificially high in order to provide an overage we could put towards future construction. We certainly haven't done that since I joined the board in 2018. Instead, those overages exist because when a district like ours writes our budget, we have to have a cushion in it. We have to budget a little more than we expect to actually spend. Because the alternative, coming in under budget, would have serious negative consequences. For one thing, we'd have to amend our budget in the middle of the year. This not only hurts our credit rating, but can affect our negotiating ability with vendors and other government entities. So instead, we provide a cushion to make sure we have enough to pay our expenses, even if those expenses come in a little higher than expected. And if they don't come in higher than expected, then we can add a little money to our capital improvement fund. If you've driven by Rec Center East currently while it's closed, there's approximately $100,000 worth of renovations and repairs going on over there. From windows to stucco to new steps out front, several repairs that have been due for years. At a recent board meeting, a previous board president asked where we found the money for the rec center expansion we're currently contemplating. The answer is simple: from these overages that have accumulated year over year, and from lean, efficient operations. When I joined the board, I was appalled to learn of the size of the bonuses that past boards had paid to certain district employees who are no longer with us. Those days of outrageous bonuses are long gone, and were gone the moment this board took office. Another hot topic to discuss tonight is Four-Way Ranch. Years ago, Four-Way Ranch had reserved approximately 500 wastewater taps at the district's new wastewater treatment facility, but they never paid the money they promised to pay. The district let that slide for years until this board was elected. We're in the process of negotiating with Four-Way Ranch, and if they haven't agreed to a payment plan by the time of our April board meeting, I'm going to introduce a resolution to sell their reserve taps to which, through non-payment, they forfeited the right to someone else. There are plenty of other entities around here that would be happy to buy them. Bentgrass, a development west of Meridian Road and north of Woodmen, is a similar story. After years of non-action, in early 2019 we reached an agreement for Bentgrass to pay the district $1.3 million in lieu of drilling 2 wells they previously had agreed to drill. These 2 wells would not have produced the water capacity capable to sustain the development of Bentgrass. Whether or not they drilled the wells, Woodmen Hills was still going to be obligated to provide them water. So instead of letting that deal go to waste, we made the deal for the $1.3 million in lieu of them drilling those 2 wells. That money will go towards the cost of acquiring new water for the first 200 homes in Bentgrass. More residents meaning the cost of future infrastructure and interest payments on existing infrastructure is spread out over a greater number of households. Now, this next development was never behind on payments, but we also made a deal with Falcon Fields. Falcon Fields, a development on the southeast side of Highway 24 and Woodman Road, petitioned for inclusion and brought some of their own water to the table. Any shortfall in water, they pay the district for. And they are also paying the district for their portion of the new lift station that was just built. We reached this agreement in March of 2019. Falcon Fields is levying a mill levy on its development to go towards Woodmen Hills Parks and Recreation, which obviously will benefit the entire district. But there's a more basic reason why it's a benefit to existing residents, to include new entities in our district. The taps we sell to new inclusions help to defray the cost of infrastructure, both existing infrastructure we're still paying off and future infrastructure. The more entities that share in the cost of a lift station or a rec center, the less each has to pay for it. For the same reason, we also finalized a deal with Falcon Marketplace in May of 2019. Falcon Marketplace is the 40-acre parcel, all commercial, on the northwest corner of Woodman and Meridian, where they're building the King Supers and about 10 other commercial lots. Like Falcon Fields, Falcon Marketplace will bring some of its own water to the table. And for the rest of what they need, they'll pay the district a water acquisition fee. In the spring of 2019, we made a different sort of deal with Falcon Highlands Metro District. There we took over the operations of their water utility, so that now Falcon Highlands utilizes WHMD staff to maintain their system and reimburses Woodmen Hills on an hourly basis, which helps to defray our salary costs. We don't have to hire new staff to service Falcon Highlands. Instead, we divert existing staff to service that contract as necessary, and we recoup payment for doing so. So much for our water deals. Now I want to recap some of this board's other decisions and accomplishments over the last couple of years. When I ran a seat on the board in 2018, I campaigned on a platform of transparency. And we took a step in that direction immediately by instituting a practice of recording our board meetings and posting the recordings on our website. It was important to us that it be as easy as possible to residents to know what we were doing. At the same time, we also wanted to facilitate communication in the other direction, from the residents to the board. And we made that easier by eliminating speaking time limits at our board meetings. Instead of limiting residents to strictly 3 minutes of speaking time during the public comment section of the meeting, we decided to allow residents as much time as they need, within reason, to make their points. And if you attend or watch our meetings, you know we often engage in back and forth dialogue based on these comments. Now, I've had people speak to me on both sides of that. Some don't like the way we hold our meetings and think they should be more formatted, and some like the way we have kind of a group discussion dynamic. As long as I am chairman or president of the board of directors, we will continue to have a discussion directed board meeting where we receive input from the community. Some of our best ideas come from you folks out there in the community, whether it's email, phone calls, or in this boardroom every month. And we appreciate every single one of them. In terms of capital improvements to our utilities infrastructure, we've done a lot over the last 2 years. We finished the new wastewater treatment facility, which was mandated by state regulations. This was completed in March of 2019. At about the same time it was completed, the board solicited bids to construct our new lift station. That's Lift Station 1, located over by Falcon Elementary School. This is a piece of infrastructure necessary to lift sewage from a lower to a higher elevation underground. Instead of going with our normal contractor, which gave us a good but not the lowest bid, the board carefully considered the question and decided to go with a new contractor who had just started operating in Colorado out of Arizona. That bet paid off, and the new contractor performed excellently, saving the district 15% of what our normal contractor would have charged us. So not only did we get our lift station built for 15% less, but they were also able to provide an extra row of parking and permeable tiles underneath the drainage in the front of the lift station so that we could get rid of a flooding problem for District 49 and Falcon Elementary. It was a fantastic collaboration between District 49 and Woodmen Hills Metropolitan District. Our financials are in good shape. Since taking office in 2018, this board has hired a new Director of Administration, Rachel Hawkins, and each year our external audits have come back glowing. This year, the 2019 audit was completed in less time than any other audit in living memory. That's a testament to the precision, clarity, and accuracy of Rachel's work. We've retained Woodmen Hills' unique status among area metro districts in that we have no mill levy. Although it is true that the Board of Directors did look into a mill levy process, with rising housing costs, it would have added a burden to our community that was unnecessary. Residents of Woodmen Hills don't pay any property taxes to the district. Instead, we are completely fee-based, with residents paying fees for water, wastewater, and parks and recreation. We've kept those fees as low as possible, raising them slightly each year, as required by our bonds, but always at approximately the same rate the Consumer Price Index has grown. As the Consumer Price Index measures inflation, our increases have been designed to keep the real cost of our services adjusted for inflation the same year after year. As residents ourselves, your board members want to keep our rates low, and we've succeeded in doing that. In our Parks and Recreation Department, we made a number of positive innovations. First, in February of 2019, we got funding for Silver Sneaker fitness classes. This allows our older residents who qualify to take fitness classes for free. Later in 2019, we extended hours at Recreation Center East so that we'd remain open in the afternoons too, instead of closing from 12 to 4 as we used to. Then at the beginning of 2020, we extended hours even further so that we open half an hour earlier and close half an hour later than we used to. Now opening at 6 a.m. and closing at 8:30 p.m. on weekdays. Also at the beginning of 2020, we made all fitness classes free to Woodmen Hills residents. Non-residents may continue to participate for a fee. As you can see, in Parks and Recreation, we've undertaken a steady stream of improvements. We expect that trend to continue under our new Park and Rec Director, Jed Sims. Jed Sims came on board March 31st, hired by our General Manager. Your board members want to help residents any way we can. Sometimes that means taking on tasks that don't fall neatly into water, wastewater, parks and rec buckets, but that can significantly affect residents' quality of life. For instance, for years, the district had heard from residents that semi-trucks were parking off Stapleton Road overnight. With their engines idling, this created a nuisance for those residents. Although the district doesn't have any enforcement authority over roads, we got El Paso County to agree that if we put up no parking signs, the county would enforce them. So in 2019, we did, and that nuisance has disappeared. I've mentioned two new hires since the current board took office in 2018. Rachel Hawkins is the Director of Administration, and Jed Sims is Park and Recreation Director. We're also proud, and I mean very proud, to have hired a new General Manager. When we took office, the district had been without a general manager for some time. And wanting to fill that gap, we posted the position. After reviewing resumes, we realized we had the ideal candidate right under our noses the whole time. Jerry Jacobson. He was already working for the district in water and wastewater management, and he brings unmatched utilities expertise to his new role managing the district as a whole. I also want to mention the rest of the district staff. We've operated under a lean and efficient operations program under this board. We've done that to save our residents money. They're only accomplished by having our dedicated, capable, and experienced staff doing a great job. We take care of projects in-house instead of using expensive contractors. We do not have high turnover. We maintain our staff to provide the best possible service for our ratepayers. You might not know it, but our district is a resource for other districts. We're constantly fielding calls from other districts asking for help or information, or sometimes to lease our staff, as is the case of Falcon Highlands Metro District. On a personal note, I ran for my position on this board to make a difference in this community. So did all the other board members. Our board members sacrifice somewhere between 20 and 40 hours a week. Some of our board meetings contain 80 to 120 documents that have to be reviewed so that we can make educated decisions and lawful decisions on your behalf. We take the job seriously, and I'd like to thank the 3 leaving board members in May for their time, their expertise. We all come from different backgrounds, different educational levels, different jobs, but all 5 members of this board have to come together to make decisions as a board. No one board member can make a decision unilaterally. Our decisions are from the board or by the board in either a majority or supermajority vote. With that being said, I thank you for your time. Please feel free to reach out to your board members. I field several, probably hundreds of phone calls, emails weekly, talking to community members. We're very involved out in the community in different aspects. Don't be shy. If you have a question, contact us. We'll answer you. It may not be the answer you like, but we'll answer you. Thanks again for your time. I hope this crisis is over soon and we can all get back to some type of new normal and continue work on our district. Thank you.